Now today, the ancient city of Daura in Katsina State, revered as the cradle of Hausa civilization and the seat of the legendary Queen Daurama, takes center stage as it hosts the 2025 World Hausa Day. The celebration draws participants from across Africa, Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and the Americas, projecting Hausa culture, language, and heritage to a global audience of over 200 million people. Trust TV's Abdulbaki Aliyu Jari reports.
Daura is where the Hausa story began. And this year, the world will witness that story in its most authentic form. Today, Hausa ranks as the 11th most spoken language globally and is projected to rise to 5th place by 2050, cementing its position as a linguistic force with growing international influence. The day-long program in Daura will feature a grand Doba procession showcasing traditional horsemanship and regalia, cultural exhibitions on history, attire, crafts, and cuisine, as well as academic symposiums on the contemporary relevance of the Hausa language.
Excellency the President, or His Excellency the Ambassador of any country, they are there cast. So this is a bit of office of the area. So when the area...
Founder of International Hausa Day, Abdulbaki Aliyu Jari, a journalist and cultural advocate, described the movement as one of pride, connection, and continuity. He noted that from Katsina to Kano, from London to Washington, the Hausa people remain one family, with language as the bridge to their shared future. The 2025 edition, marking the 10th anniversary of World Hausa Day, promises unprecedented global visibility, with celebrations holding simultaneously in Niamey, Kano, Abuja, Accra, London, Riyadh, Chicago, and Dubai.
If Hausa is recognized, it gives it to serve as in official functions. Okay. Yes, those languages are recognized and they are allowed to be, those three languages to be spoken in the National Assembly. Have we ever seen any representative speaking in any of those languages? So now what we are asking is for promotion and implementation, and especially for the Hausa language, because it has spread. Already we know that there are state assemblies in the north that speak in Hausa, so also in the southwest in Lagos. So what we want to have a national language like a one that can serve in all of those regions.
Cultural organizations, embassies, universities, and community associations worldwide will host events to mark the day, while international broadcasters are expected to beam live coverage from Daura to audiences across continents. Founded to promote and preserve the Hausa language and culture, World Hausa Day has grown into a global movement fostering unity among the Hausa-speaking communities while highlighting the economic and creative potentials of Hausa heritage in today's interconnected world. Abdullahi Aliyu Jari, Trust Television News, Katsina.
All right, now, so what does this year's Hausa Day mean for identity, unity, and development in Africa? Joining us live via Zoom from Daura is Abdulbaki Aliyu Jari, journalist, cultural advocate, and global coordinator of the World Hausa Day celebration. Good morning, Abdulbaki, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Good morning. All right. We'll dive right into it. As we all know, this day is celebrated annually, and it's been celebrated for the past, I would say, 10 years, because this is the 10th anniversary of World Hausa Day. So far, what do you think the significance of, this event towards, boosting the Hausa language and the culture, as well as it being celebrated in the ancient city of Daura?
First of all, it helps it with visibility, especially on the social media where it all started. We have seen how tech companies and international media organizations are giving special attention and special preference to Hausa language in Africa. We believe that the World Hausa Day event has helped with that visibility and has also positioned the language as a very important tool, especially in Africa when it comes to commerce, education, and especially peacekeeping. This grand event in Daura today is especially a special one because it's happening in Daura, which is the birthplace of the Hausa civilization. And that already we have our guests are already here in Daura. People have come from all around the world to witness the Hausa culture at its birthplace. And people from all over the Hausa land, like I've said, from the northern part of Nigeria, from outside Nigeria, have all come to Daura to see the Hausa culture in its purest and original form.
All right.
All right. Now, for viewers who may not be familiar, can you please walk us through the origins of World Hausa Day and how it began and what really inspired its establishment 10 years ago?
2015, on August 26th, I and a couple of friends felt that we need to start doing something, especially to help in preserving and also encouraging young people like ourselves to feel free to express themselves in Hausa language, especially on the social media where globalization is at its peak, where most people speak in English or in most of the European languages, where people feel that when you talk either in English or in French or any of those major international languages, that's where you reach more audience. So we felt that our languages at home deserve those recognition because they are rich. We have the culture. We have all it takes to position and promote our language. So we call on people on August 26th to join us and talk exclusively in Hausa language and also express themselves, show those part of the Hausa culture that they like most, and also to get their friends to come online and also participate in the event. And people were excited when it started in 2015. In 2016, there was also, it went viral, and across all of those major social media networks, it trended, most of them as #1 trend in Nigeria. So in 2019, we started having physical events, and from there it grew to from 1 country to 3 country to 13 country, and this year 2025 is going to be celebrated in 25 countries. And those who are online will see images from across the world where people are celebrating and they are sharing their pictures. There will be gatherings across so many people. People will talk about the language, how best to help in preserving it, the challenges that the language and the people are facing, and how best people can come together, work together, and see that they solve their problems themselves with the right support and also with right encouragement from the authorities.
All right. We know that the Hausa language has transcended borders, and it's been spoken in different countries, and it's spoken by by over 200 million people, and has been ranked the 11th most spoken language globally. So far with this kind of celebrating, the Hausa language, the Hausa culture, has it cemented its influence across the world, and how is it, influencing Nigerians, or should I say Hausa speakers in diaspora?
Hausa has a secured position in the community of international languages. And like I've said, we have seen how major international news, most of those major international news, they have, excuse me, have Hausa services. On social media as well, we have seen that all of those major networks, they have added Hausa language. We have seen recently how WhatsApp and other, especially the AI, the artificial intelligence service, they have added Hausa language because they have seen that it's a major language. As you have mentioned, over 200 million speakers, the 11th largest. And by projection, by 2050, it's going to be the 5th largest language. And this will be, and by that time, that will be the first time any African language that. So it is a major language, is growing by all standards, is going a lot of places, is helping in the creative economy, is helping in the culture industry and arts and so many other places. All we need to do is to have the right frame for it to continue on that, and for it also to help our young people, especially those in the creative industry, those in the education sector and other places, so that they would be able to earn a living through those things, especially those with regards to culture and sport.
So why do you think Daura was chosen as the starting point for this celebration?
Daura is the birthplace of the Hausa civilization, according to the Hausa myth. When Bayajidda came through his son, Bawo, all of the rulers of those 7 true houses are the children of Bawo. In Katsina, there is Kumayo. In Kano, there was Pagauda, and so many other places in Rano. So Daura is the headquarters of the people and the Hausa civilization. So for us celebrating the 10th year, that's a decade, we felt that there is no better place for all except in Daura, because this is where it all started. And part of the efforts of what we are doing is to promote unity, brotherhood among all of the Hausa people and the Hausa speaking community, especially in West Africa, where there is a lot of social interaction, there is commerce, there is trade, and especially now in helping in peace building, which is one of the most important things that we need in West Africa, in the Sahel region, and across larger part of Africa.
All right, we know that the Hausas have a very rich culture, just like any other, culture in Nigeria. But then again, with growing times and, moving with technology and the proliferation of social media, how do we make sure that, those cultures are upheld, the history, is being spoken about and, learnt by everyone far and wide, so that at least that culture is being preserved?
I think one of those ways is ensuring that, especially like for Hausa language, its position on those spaces is secured. Like I've mentioned already, most of those major networks like Facebook, X, like WhatsApp, they all have Hausa as on those platforms. So I would like to use this opportunity to encourage people, especially my brothers, the young people, to use Hausa language on the social media, and especially those in the creative industry, those in the film and those industries. Let us promote ourselves. Let us promote. We can do so many things. We can do films like we have seen on Queen Amina. In Daura here, we can stories about the true Hausa states and those and those other Hausa states. So by doing that, we are promoting our story. We are selling our story to the world, like we have seen in so many other countries, how they are using films to tell their stories, especially about their past and their rich culture and history. So we can only do that when we work together and when we see the beauty and the pride in our culture, in our language, and we get to understand how we can take our story from where it is global community. And we have seen that those who have done that is being appreciated because people, they get nominated for awards, they win grants to tell their stories because some of those stories have never been heard in some places. They have not been taken to the international community. So there is an opportunity in indigenous languages, especially in Hausa, where, like you mentioned, there is rich history and the language is sufficient enough for people to understand it across so many countries, not just here in Nigeria.
So you have called on ECOWAS to adopt Hausa as a language of commerce across the West Africa. Now, practically speaking, how would this work and what impact would it have on trade and regional integration?
So currently, part of the official languages for English, French, and Portuguese. When you look at Portuguese, I think it's just probably around 40 or 50 million, or even less than that, of the people that speak that language. It is only recognized in ECOWAS because there is a country that is, that was colonized by the Portuguese. So Hausa has more speakers than Portuguese in West Africa. And when you talk about people to people, more people speak indigenous languages than those official government languages. And like I've said, Hausa has the spread across West Africa. When you have traveled across West Africa, you would testify to that, from Nigeria, Niger, Benin, Togo, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Burkina, and so many other places. So also in Central Africa, in Chad, in Cameroon, in Gabon, even in North Africa, Sudan, Libya, and so many other places. So we feel that we need to start taking concrete steps. We need to have local languages fully represented in those organizations because, like I've said, all are now official. None of them is truly African. So when are we going to be independent linguistically? We keep using those languages, of the colonial languages of the past. We now have an opportunity to start integrating local languages. And in West Africa, there is no language that has the numbers and the spread than Hausa language. So we should start taking those concrete steps to ensure linguistic independence.
All right. When it comes to, the impact of, making sure that the Hausa language is included as part of the languages that is used for trade in West Africa. How do you think it would boost, the economy, especially Nigeria, with the amount of Hausa speakers that we have, and Hausa transcending borders as well?
The Hausa people, in so many years of their history, have been people who travel a lot of places for commerce, for trade, for so many businesses. Like we have seen from the history how Hausa people selling kola nuts migrated from northern Nigeria to Ghana, where now there is a significant population here in Ghana. So all we are asking is for them to be encouraged, because most of them, they already use Hausa language for those that doing small and medium scale business. And even in Nigeria here, when you talk about most of those foodstuffs, they come from the north. Most of them are being transported to southern Nigeria. The meat consumption of Nigeria also comes from northern Nigeria. And even when you went to Lagos and so many other markets where the northerners or the Hausa speaking people, you see that they speak Hausa. So like I've said, is a gradual process. When you start encouraging the use of indigenous languages, it's going to help people, especially in, like I've said, in small and medium scale businesses, because already in a lot of places, not only in Nigeria, across so many places, West Africa, they already trade in Hausa language. So now it's giving it the and ensuring there is a framework for it to grow and for it to serve that purpose of inter-country and inter-businesses within West Africa.